give this video a like and subscribe.
If you know what's good for you, you'll follow us on Rumble.
Welcome to the weekend culture. Welcome to the weekend culture. Welcome to the weekend culture. We push back, push back.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be, and welcome back to Honey Badger Arcade. My name is Brian. I'm here with John, the problematic white guy, and this is the Weekend Culture. We discuss all of the clown world cultural news of the week.
Indeed.
And mostly just sort of point and laugh, I think. So, hey, John, how are you doing?
Oh, awesome as always. Busy as ever. There's an abundance of things to point and laugh at this point in time in clown world. And yeah, I don't think there's really much more that you could do at this point than just point and laugh, because you'd just be far too busy. Because I don't even have enough time to do all the pointing and laughing that needs to be done with all the insanity.
There's a lot of pointing and laughing to be done. We should be paid for it.
Right.
But unfortunately, it's not. That's okay. I'll take my payment in lols. So, all right. So yeah, we have. I picked out a number of stories. I don't know if we're gonna get to all of them. So, because it is a lot, but we'll do our best. At least cover the bases. But first, I'm gonna ask you guys, if you're watching, to hit that like button. It'll help us reach more people. This seems to be like a decent time of day to do like a stream, because at least in the United States, it's like the morning. I have my coffee here. I'm just kind of like, waking up.
Yep.
And shooting the shit. It's like, I don't know. It's sort of like a chill atmosphere. We're just kind of vibing.
I do like streaming at this time of the day.
Yeah.
Because you've kind of been awake generally long enough that you're kind of like, you're activated, but you haven't been like inundated with a whole bunch of stupid bullshit from the day, so you're not like in the drudgery. There's promise. It's hopeful.
I wouldn't mind trying like a stream that's late, once in sometime. I don't know, but because of the time zone I'm in and everything, I think it makes it a little bit challenging.
Indeed,
so
yes.
But it's good to be here with you, John. It's good to be here with you guys that are watching. So let's not belabor any longer, and let's get into the story. So I want to start off by talking about Blade Runner. So a new Blade Runner has been announced. It is called 2099, and it is a series. So let's get into it, okay? So Blade Runner 2099 is an upcoming 8-episode limited science fiction miniseries on Amazon Prime Video, serving as a sequel to the 1982 film of, Blade Runner. Which version? I don't know. And the 2017 Blade Runner 2049 with Ryan Gosling that people like to meme a lot. So let me, before I get into the details of this, John, are you a fan of Blade Runner? Have you ever watched
movies? I've got this right here, which is like a Decker hologram.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and and I've got an origami unicorn that just happened to be on my desk all the time. So I guess I'm at
I
least
guess
a big
you know
enough
something about it.
I guess
Yeah.
I'm a
You
big
have
enough
some
fan that I at least
familiarity.
have some knowledge of them.
Yeah, it is based on a so the original Blade Runner film was based on a book, I think, called Do Androids Dream of
Androids,
Electric Sheep, right?
indeed. Yeah.
And it is basically like the quintessential cyberpunk story, at least in terms of like the popular culture references. Like if you didn't read a bunch of like like Neuromancer and Hardwired and When Gravity Falls and all these other like cyberpunk books, you probably only know it from movies. And Blade Runner was the first one, at least the first one to really like capture that aesthetic. So yeah, I like Blade Runner. I think the movies are good, philosophically very interesting. Even Blade Runner 2049, I enjoyed. I don't know if I would like watch it again because there are parts that are move pretty slow. But it is made by the same director who's doing those new Dune movies.
Mhm.
Why am I forgetting his name? He's like a Latino
Villanova,
name, but
uh,
what?
Dillanovo. I can't
Yeah,
remember his name.
Villanueva. It's
Yeah,
Villanueva.
yeah. It's so hard to say his
Yes,
name.
yes. Yeah, so Denise Villanueva, I believe.
Yeah.
And I thought he did a good job with it. And I think that again, the fact that that movie gets memed so much with the Ryan Gosling literally me meme, I think it speaks to that. Like how relatable the characters are. But anyway, so it's a big franchise. It's one of these that had not really like taken off the franchise itself when the first movie came out. It wasn't like a big hit. It's like it's got more of a cult following. But once the cult following becomes big enough and it goes mainstream, then they make a movie, a sequel, and now I guess this is just like another franchise that we have to essentially like beat to death. We have to drive into the ground by just oversaturating it with whatever. And now we're getting this. Yeah.
Well, of
What was
course,
that?
yeah. I mean, well, right now we're in the trans allegory phase where like your property, whatever it used to, what it once was, now has to be a trans allegory, and it was always about like like finding acceptance from within or whatever stupid horse shit. Like that's my take on what this is, and like it being an 8-episode miniseries, so they can go and be like, oh well, Hunter Schafer's actually been a Blade Runner protagonist for more hours
I
than
know.
anyone else that was ever a protagonist. So technically, therefore, you see, Blade Runner is a trans feminist icon movie that oh god, it's gonna be so terrible.
let me read my notes.
Right.
Here. So yes. So set in 2099, 50 years after the last movie, which is Blade Runner 2049. Yes, I can do math. In a Los Angeles reborn after a replicant uprising that left replicants as the dominant power brokers and humans as second-class citizens. So replicants in the Blade Runner universe are essentially like artificial humans that they used to fight in wars and do labor and things like this, right? The story centers on Cora, played by Hunter Schafer. If you guys don't know, Hunter Schafer is a trans performer, I guess. That people have been wanting Hunter Schafer to play Link, I think, or Zelda.
Zelda.
Zelda. Yeah, they wanted Hunter Schafer to play Zelda in the movies, but it didn't happen. I think they ended up casting somebody else. It doesn't matter. They're always trying to cram trans people into roles that have been traditionally occupied by men or women.
Just tuck it in. It'll be fine.
Just like they did with Ellen Page, and now it's Hunter Schafer is like the new Ellen Page, right? Or at least like a current one. So he is a human fugitive who assumes the identity of a Blade Runner to stop running and protect his future. He is forced to partner with Olwen, played by Michelle Yeoh, a replicant Blade Runner in the final days of her engineered lifespan. Together, they hunt a runaway replicant hiding a dangerous truth that could collapse the fragile city. The series explores themes of identity, humanity, and power reversal in a cyberpunk world with a sunnier coastal sunshine noir aesthetic alongside classic neon-drenched night scenes. The series is created and showrun. This is important. The series will be created and showrun by Silka Luisa, with Ridley Scott as executive producer. Now, Ridley Scott is executive producing, doesn't mean that he's going to necessarily be very involved with the creative aspects. It could just be that he's signing the check and that's it. It could just be that he wants a producer credit for it and is, getting that because he created the Blade Runner franchise, like he owns it.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be that involved, but I don't think that if he was, it would make it much better because Ridley Scott's track record as of late hasn't been great. Napoleon was not great, and it didn't really do well. It was in and out. Gladiator 2, I mean, that was... I'm just going to drink some coffee. Hold on.
Right. Oh, God.
A movie nobody asked for. Nobody.
In fact, people went out of the way to ask specifically for never make a sequel.
Yeah,
to
don't.
Gladiator.
Yeah, well, how? I mean, yes.
How could you? Yes. It would be the question most people
Alien
ask.
Romulus was made by Ridley Scott. Yeah, he did those movies too. Those Alien prequel movies. What were those called? Those were awful too. Prometheus. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, like there's stuff that I can appreciate. Like he's good with the aesthetics. He still has that touch, right? The aesthetics, but the movies, they're not. It's not Alien. The original Alien, that was him too. That was like that's one of the greatest films like ever, right?
Back when directors used to be hired to direct.
Yeah.
And they were kept in a limited kind of.
They were being corralled. Yes.
Right. You're creative in this area of the process, not all of it. We were far better. Like we've got far too many executives trying to be in on creative and creatives trying to be in on executive decisions and just kind of like this weird kind of, I don't know, inbreeding within that framework that's now just got it all mucked up. And I don't know, it's not good.
Yeah, for sure. So this is the same Ridley Scott. He's producing. It features a strong supporting cast, including series regulars like Dimitri Arbold and Louis Gribben, plus recurring roles for actors like Tom Burke, Maurizio Lombardi, Johnny Harris, Sheila Atim, Matthew Needham, and others. All 8 episodes are scheduled to premiere simultaneously, so they're gonna dump the whole thing on November 25th, 2026 on Prime Video worldwide. So, and we have a teaser trailer for it. So first of all, I do want to say I do have an Amazon account, so I can watch Amazon things.
Yeah.
I might watch this just so that I can talk about it, not because I'm interested.
Right.
I normally the stuff I have been watching like anime on Amazon because they put all of JoJo on there. So if you guys have an Amazon account and you haven't watched JoJo, you can watch it for free, just with some commercials. And they also have Ghost in the Shell on there, which I've been enjoying.
That's what I was going to mention, that it is interesting that these are both coming out at the same time. I'm assuming Ghost in the Shell is probably going to be the better of the two.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I've already started watching Ghost in the Shell. There are 2 episodes out already, and it's so like if you've read the manga, it's very close to the manga. It's basically like the most faithful manga representation of Ghost in the Shell, I think, because everybody thinks of like the movie, which is fine, but it's not the comics. Like the comics were a lot more light, like they're more like lighthearted, even like silly, because Masamune Nishiro he puts that in a lot of his work. Like Dominion Tank Police.
The film adaptation, when it came out, we're talking like 25 years ago, basically.
The animated one.
Yeah. When the film Ghost in the Shell came out, like I think that you've got such a large property that you're trying to adapt into a 90-minute experience. That's kind of why it ended up taking the shape that it did. not that the movie, the original movie, is bad, but it would be interesting to kind of see something that's a little bit more open and kind of free to have more character development and things like that. Because it's just, like you're saying, a little bit more, closely associated with the way the manga is structured.
Yeah, the new show is very close to the manga, and I think for my money, like, I prefer that things are very accurate. Now, I haven't watched all the. I don't want to get stuck on the Ghost in the Shell thing too long, but I haven't watched like every version because there was like Standalone Complex and something else. I can't keep track of it all, so I watched the animated movie. I read some of the manga, and I'm watching this show, and that's it. So if I'm missing out on something, that's fine. Oh, I also played the PlayStation game, if I remember the PlayStation game.
Yeah.
That was Ghost in the Shell, where you're piloting those little
the Fukiya
robot things.
Yeah.
And that was good. Actually, I enjoyed that quite a bit. But anyway, so this is like it's also on Amazon. You can watch the Fist of North Star, the new one. That's also really good. It's on there. They have the whole first season up. So there are reasons to watch it. So I might check this out so that I can talk about it. But anyway, there is a teaser trailer for it. We're gonna look at the teaser trailer, and then we're gonna give thoughts. So let's go ahead and move over to YouTube here, and let me see if it plays. Yes, it does. So I think they may have fixed that glitch. So this is the trailer for Ghost in the I'm sorry, Blade Ghost in the Shell. Blade Runner 2099. Okay. May have Mr. Schaefer. Right? It is, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Dude, look, it's just okay. This is a trans woman, but this is a really unflattering jacket. That's what I'll say. But anyway.
We already fought a war. We lost. Replicants. They keep taking it all away. How much longer? Until we have nothing. Until we are nothing.
Is this gay bashing? I don't know what that is, but these are just plot things. You're supposed to be like, wow, oh, so invested.
The old world forever fights to come back. Humans want what was taken from them. But it's our time now.
So,
I'm
whelmed.
thoughts? I'm
Underwhelmed?
at best. Yes. That is.
Let me ask you this: what is your primary, like, okay, let's start. Let's be fair. What are the things about the trailer that you liked? What looked good to you? Not a lot, huh? Okay.
Color grading, I guess.
I'll say okay. I'll say
It was
I like
distinct.
the
It wasn't
environments
muddy.
and the aesthetic look good. Like they captured, like the big old cities with the neon and everything and the
Yeah.
rainy nights. They captured all that, the visuals and the effects looked pretty good. My main worry really is going to be the story and the characters. That's
Right.
like that, and unfortunately, those are important things. But that's what I think is going to be not so great. And I also wonder, every story is trying to say something. Okay, every story is trying to say something, and it's trying to. That's what a story is. Essentially, is an argument put into a narrative form. And I think that, like, what would you say, as somebody who is a Blade Runner fan, what would you say was the argument that the story was trying to make, like the case, I guess, with regards to like replicants or whatever.
Right. Well, I think it was more kind of more so kind of about like as long as you actually are activated in your life, it doesn't really matter what the trappings of it are. It's what you do with the experience, kind of. At least that's kind of always been my takeaway from it. Is like don't get too bogged down by the details. If you can find a way to free yourself from whatever, to just kind of like accept where you're at, and you can have like some level of, I guess, self-actualization within that, then that's all that really matters. I guess that's kind of that's my general vibe from it as it exists. I do think it's interesting that Blade Runner, of course, would go on to inspire like cyberpunk and all these other things. And then you look at this, and it looks like it's like you said, the jacket. It looks like a parody of like the jackets from Cyberpunk, which is kind of hilarious.
Yeah. It's like they're trying to check
boxes. Right. You're making a reference off a thing that was referencing a reference, and it's like now it's so much lesser than Decker's jacket. Like I don't know. It's like it's kind of very try hard. Yeah, like they're just trying to. It looks like it's just trying to mimic all the things that happened before. Different enough that it's like I swear I'm different. I'm a different story.
Yeah, it looks like something, but that doesn't make it that thing, right? It looks like a cyberpunk thing, but it doesn't mean that
right. Much like a true,
really
it's got a superficial, it's like it's superficially coated, but the substance of it is kind of lacking.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like you mentioned before that with Ghost in the Shell being out, that there's like it seems like the timing of all this is very interesting. I think that I think it's just because it's like it's like a trend that's going on right now. I think it's because Cyberpunk 2077 sold like 40 million copies. And once everything was like said and done, and they like made all of the fixes and everything like that.
It also they got a new season of Edge Runners coming out.
There's another season of Edge Runners coming very soon. And also, I was going to mention something else too. Amazon is also fully like they're basically producing a show. I think it's a series based on the book Neuromancer, which is basically like the quintessential, like the book that is often credited as being the first book that created or like made the cyberpunk genre. It was so unique at the time that that genre didn't exist, so it was just science fiction.
Right.
Which cyberpunk is a subset of science fiction, but yeah, like they're even adapting that. So I think it's part of like a broader trend. But I take what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down in terms of like the shallowness of it. But the Ilka Louisa thing, I just want to comment on this really quick. She is the person creating the showrunner behind Blade Runner 2099. But I don't know if you guys know this, but she also created another show called Halo. This is the same person.
God.
So,
oh God, no God, oh no, oh Jesus, please no. Oh,
yeah,
that's not
it's the same. The brainchild behind the show. Where I don't know what they did in that show because I didn't watch it.
Master Cheeks. Master Cheeks. That's when he was bare-assed. Yeah, that's when he was bare-assed, and
no.
Yeah. Within the first episode, like not only does he take off his helmet, he takes off everything, and he's like bare-assed having sex with some like half covenant.
Oh God. At least Master Chief is a man in it, I guess.
Right. Although he does get cucked out pretty hard by fucking Korra at the end. Like he's not even him. He's just basically like a meat suit that Korra's operating.
Piloting.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That sounds awful.
It's terrible. Because again, true, like because deep down inside of Master Chief, he's a woman.
Yeah, of course.
A synthetic woman.
A woman on the inside.
Right.
Well, that sounds bad.
Mm.
So, so Hunter Schafer, we have a trans person that's leading the show as the star, which is enough for me not to watch it. Right. And then we have like a Michelle Yeoh, which is basically essentially like a washed up action hero. And I don't even like saying that because I liked her Hong Kong films. I think Michelle Yeoh got done dirty. Like all these like people, that do like Hong Kong action films, and then they try to break into Hollywood, and then they do, and they get into Hollywood, and then they go to shit. Like all of them. Like who has made something after leaving Hong Kong cinema to come to Hollywood and make movies? Who has made something better than what they made back home? And a lot of them return, like I know Jackie Chan said at one point that he had to go back to Hong Kong or China, because I think at that point Hong Kong was gone, to make movies because he enjoyed making them more in China than here in the States. But Michelle Yeoh was like the shit. I mean, a lot of people know her from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, but that was good. But she's done lots of stuff before that. And all of it was excellent. And then she comes over here, and Crouching Tiger wasn't Hollywood either. It was just distributed that way. It was a Hong Kong movie as well. But when she comes over here, what does she do? She does Tomorrow Never Dies, which is a good 007 movie, but she's not very good in it. Like, she's not even necessary. So it's just a shame. But yeah, the Michelle Yeoh and a trans person, it looks bad. And wasn't Michelle Yeoh on some like Star Trek show too recently?
The Section 31 or
it's so unfortunate. It's so sad. Like, you get people who are legends, and I know she can probably still do some badass shit, but I don't know what's happened. I feel like
it's so sad because they keep hiring her to try to go and siphon heat off of her credibility, and it's starting to be one of those things. It's like this is why I still watch pro wrestling.
Diminishing returns,
right? Where it's like all these things that were done, where they could still some of her shine are actually making her lose her luster, and it's just kind of like it's starting to get to be where it's like, oh, you got Michelle Yeoh in your thing. Oh no, it must not be good, and you're just hiring her to try to compensate. And I don't know. I mean, like, I think she's quite talented and does the best with what she's given, but there's only so much you can do with.
Yeah, and also English is not her first language. That's another thing too. Like just bring back. Where's Hong Kong? Let's bring Hong Kong back. But anyway, so I don't know. Are you guys gonna watch Blade Runner 2099 when it comes out? I might, like I said, because it'll be free anyway. I might watch like the first episode so that I can talk about it on this show and give my thoughts. So, but if you have Amazon and you're looking for something to watch, Hokuto no Ken, Ghost in the Shell, and it was like one other one.
I have I have a VPN, so I effectively have better than.
Yeah. Okay. Then you're
good. Better than Amazon. Yeah. So I'll check out. I'll check it.
Well,
out.
you can watch whatever you want.
That's right.
Oh, Spider Noir is okay. Although I haven't followed up in a while. I haven't finished it. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments. We got to move on to the next one. So, Halo Campaign Evolved finally came out. Ground up remake of Halo Combat Evolved. So it's called Campaign Evolved based on Combat Evolved. The original campaign for the first Halo game, rebuilt in Unreal Engine 5 by Halo Studios, launched on May 28th for Xbox Series X and S, PC, and PS5. So this is the first time that PlayStation gamers can get their hands on a Halo game, basically. It features modernized visuals, refined gameplay, including sprinting, and expanded arsenal with weapons from other games. So games that came out later in the series. Updated cinematics, 3 new prequel missions, Operation Meteorite with Sergeant Johnson, enhanced co-op, up to 4-player online crossplay and 2-player split screen, and more skulls for replayability. Notably, it lacks the original multiplayer, but serves as the first Halo title on PlayStation. It has generally been well received, earning Metascores of around 77 to 84. So let's look. I got the Metacritic up here right now. So on PC, it's at a 77, which is not great because we're gonna come back to that. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not great. Open Critic, its average is 83, with an 89% recommending it. Critics praise the stunning Unreal Engine 5 visuals, timeless gunplay, and sandbox feel that still holds up, respectful modern tweaks, and strong co-op as an excellent way to experience the classic for newcomers and veterans alike, often calling it the definitive version of the original campaign. Common criticisms include some dated level design and repetition from the 2001 game. So there's, the same small issues people had with the original Halo, which I played it, like I streamed myself playing it for the first time not that long ago. And I'll give my thoughts on that in a second. Occasional performance notes. So apparently there were some performance issues on PS5 and Steam Deck, and questions about its value as a shorter package without competitive multiplayer. Overall viewed as a solid foundation. Now, I'm not here to just shit on the Halo remake, but I am gonna look at how it compares to other remakes. So this Halo is a big deal, right? Like it's a very popular first-person shooter. I think that it created a lot of new standards under which shooters followed after that. I mean, is that a fair thing to say?
Yeah.
That the original Halo did that?
I mean, considering that, a lot of people called them Halo controls for the longest time after Halo came out.
For the vehicles, you mean?
Well, I'm just talking about for just for using 3D combat controls in general. Prior to that, people would refer to it it was like Rare GoldenEye was the big game, and then Halo kind of was like the next big thing that kind of really stood out. Well, I guess Halo and Half-Life, but branching paths in terms of one was on PC and one was consoles. But Halo completely changed everything in terms of
Halo. Yeah, you're right. Half-Life also, but you're right. I got a super chat. I got some comments I forgot to read. I normally read these between stories and I kind of forgot. So I'm gonna go back and do that really quick. So let me see. NobaFan gave us $1 on Rumble. Thank you, NobaFan, and says, I find it silly when wokies defend the woke remakes and claim it's somehow faithful, but when it's actually faithful to the wokies take issue and demand changes. Yeah, that's because they don't care about consistency, but they do care about people. They love it when things get changed in a way that they favor. Like censoring things, covering the women up, making them less attractive, whatever it is, right? But anyway, thank you for that, NobaFan. Robert Johnson said Blade Runner. So this is he's answering the question of what is Blade Runner trying to say. Blade Runner asks you to consider where is the line between android and man when you are not even certain about your own memories or humanity. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Also, the usual kind of if we create something in our own image, does that thing have a soul, or is this like a cautionary tale against it, kind of like what Frankenstein, would say? So, but thank you for that, Robert Johnson. Qnotch Nabiov says hello, hi, welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're still here. Master Goa gave us $5, thank you, and says I used to have a crush on Michelle Yeoh before she changed. Recently I watched a vid on Neuromancer and thought this is a better story than Cyberpunk 2077. Well, Cyberpunk 2077 I mean, it is a game. Neuromancer should be better. So, but I do think that I'm looking forward to Amazon's take on it. I just hope they don't die, like go too far away from the original novel. So, and I made a mistake when I said that do androids dream of electric sheep? It was not written by William Gibson. It was written by Philip K. Dick, and I got that wrong. So sorry about that. My apologies. Okay. Anyway, thank you for the comments. So there have been a number of remakes lately, and the reason why I'm worried about this Halo campaign evolved thing doesn't seem to be like hitting as hard. I'm sure it sold fine, but I don't think it did as well as other remakes. So for example, and this is like what you look at as a comparison. So the Demon Souls remake on the PS5 is sitting at a 92% or 92%, and is generally favorable at an 8.3, which is saying something because the Demon Souls game, I love it, but it's flawed like a lot compared to like, as time went on and From Software was making more Souls games, they were like improving a little bit each time. But Demon Souls is a solid first in. So considering that, and then I also have, for people who don't play the Souls likes, we have Metal Gear Solid Delta, which is the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3. And this one is also sitting at 85%, which is more favorable than, again, Halo Campaign Evolved.
Delta is perhaps like it is what in terms of the word remake, actually rebuilding something and trying to do it in service to the original property. Yeah, I think Delta is probably, in terms of 2026, I guess just abilities and values, like this is as good as it gets in terms of doing remakes these days. I was quite pleased with how well Delta came out.
Yeah. No, for sure. But I'm saying like that people are not generally not interested in remakes.
Right.
I think that if they're really good remakes. Another one was, and I had it up here, it wasn't just, there was Halo.
Right.
Oh yeah, Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced is also at like 83% or something like that. So they're definitely like out there. Now I get, like, if you grew up with the originals, you probably are thinking, well, remakes are just like a lazy way to, like, make a buck, and I wouldn't fault you for that. It's true. But I mean, if it's like, I think there are some remakes that do a good job. Like, I think the Resident Evil 2 remake is fantastic.
I don't even know. Well, see, that's what I'm saying though. Is like, when I look at Delta, I don't think that was a lazy way to make it.
No.
I think it was calculated. I think is probably the best way to say it, because it's like, when you are doing something like that, because a remaster is basically just taking the same engine and just reskinning it and kind of like, just prettifying a thing. But the remake, to actually go back in, rebuild all those systems from the ground up, and actually faithfully recreate something and remove yourself from the process just to make it the way that it was, especially in 2026, as I was just saying, like, the ability to do that and remove yourself and trying to put the stamp of, I want to make it mine, and like, act like somehow like, like, that's what I mean by that. That's how Delta is, because it's like they got out of their own goddamn way and just did what needed to be done, which is, let's remake this game, and for the people who want to play it at the end of the game.
For sure.
Yeah,
no, I know. So, but so I guess going back to the Halo thing, it is, I mean, I don't see the need to get the remake of it, but I thought I would say that it looks like the reviews are not quite at the same level as other remakes, right?
Well, it's also an interesting, Well, it's an interesting take on Halo, in the idea that if you're going to do a remake of Halo and you're just doing the campaign, while important, I suppose, to the overall lore, and there's some people who will have never had actually played the storyline beginning because it's 25 years old, and you know it's not exactly the prettiest thing.
Mm-hmm.
But Halo has never really been about the story so much as it's been about the multiplayer, the Twitch, you know, which is why this is campaign evolved and not combat evolved, because combat evolved, you know, first Halo came out, it was all about, yeah, LAN party, get your friends together, you know, frag each other in the face, teabag each other, you know, like all night long, it'd be great, you know, like that's so them doing a remake of Halo without the multiplayer levels and you know all that kind of stuff is just an odd choice.
Yeah, I think that I think what they want, because okay, isn't, and I apologize for not knowing this, but what if the reason why Halo Studios is not including the multiplayer in Campaign Evolved is because they already have a Halo game that has multiplayer and they don't want to split the audience.
I suppose that's
So,
probably what
like
it would either be.
like Halo Infinite is out, right? And if they probably think if we have Halo Infinite, I think that's the one, the newest one that's out right now. If we have our Halo Infinite and people are playing the multiplayer in that, then maybe we shouldn't put multiplayer on this one because it's going to split the audience. I mean, it is also more work, but like at the same time, you know, they probably have this.
You would like to
pride
at least think they
mentality.
would have made some kind of synergistic connection to tie the two together to at least make that, you know, because I can understand that to a certain degree where it's like, all right, yeah, you don't want to necessarily, you know, go and start a new online Halo combat, you know, multiplayer space when you already have this one that's kind of currently in process, because then it might make a little bit difficult, like muddying the waters, like 'cause you can't play both at the same time. But I don't know, it's just it's either that or they're planning on at some point down the line then they'll do multiplayer evolved or some stupid shit. Either way though, it's not, I don't know, it seems like a compromised kind of vision right from the get-go. You know, because I mean, when the first Halo came out, it was before Xbox Live even. You know, it was totally just a LAN-based game or a couch co-op. You know,
or couch multiplayer.
Right. You got four friends. You got four ports on your Xbox system. That's why they
it
were there.
It was the GoldenEye. It was GoldenEye on Xbox, basically.
Right. Yeah, and so to not even have that on this is kind of weird.
It is weird.
You know?
Yeah. So, no, it is weird. I mean, like that's why I think the reviews are a little bit like lackluster, you know, for it. So I think that there are people who are like, yeah, I don't really need this. And like I said, I don't think that I'm not even necessarily advocating for remakes, but I'm just saying that people do buy them if they're well made, and you know, or if they think that they are. Like I said, you know, I mentioned Demon Souls. There was also Shadow of the Colossus. Well, you know, mostly was Shadow of the Colossus. There was the remaster, and then there was also a remake. So the remaster, I think, was on PS3, and that one I have all of them. So I'm just trying to remember which ones.
Right.
But yeah, the remaster for Shadow of the Colossus, I think, you know, was a little bit of a graphical upgrade, but mostly it was the frame rate, because if you played the PS2 version of Shadow of the Colossus, it was like a bit. It wasn't bad. Like I was still marveling at everything, but it was pushing that console to its very limits. So the frame rate was worse than average. And then when they made the remaster, I think they adapted that or adjusted that. And then the remake came out, and that was Blue Point, the people who did Demon Souls. And I thought the remake was good. I mean, I like them all because it just, you know, looked better. But I mean, if I didn't have it, I wouldn't cry about it. I'd still go. I'd be able to play my remake.
There was a big technical upgrade going from SD quality graphics with CRT TVs to
Yeah.
then being able to have like digital running at 60 hertz and effectively getting it to where we could have up to 60 frames a second, and then getting it to So those older games, they looked great at the time, but it would be nice to like stuff like that. Yeah, you almost kind of need to do remakes just based on the limitation, because on current hardware some of the stuff would just wouldn't look appropriate, because it wouldn't have those technical limitations to kind of help optically blend things to where it actually ends up looking right, aesthetically, because now the tech's just too good. So you'd be able to see all the seams basically, and just kind of, oh no, it's not. I know too much. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so campaign evolved. I mean, I don't know. It's been generally well received, like I said, but it seems a little bit underwhelming. I think people, and the thing is too is I don't know why I thought this, but when I heard they were doing this game, I thought they were like giving that treatment to maybe the first two or even all three Halos, like there'll be like 1, 2, and 3 packaged in one thing or something like that. But they just did the first game, which is it's fine, but it's not a really long campaign, and there is no multiplayer. So how much game are you getting really? And how much does it
maybe
cost
8
for
hours?
This game that
right.
seems,
That's
no,
the other
it's
thing.
not even 8 hours. You can beat the first Halo if you're not even even like as a speed runner or anything like that. Like not somebody who's really good at it. Like as a first time player, you can probably beat it in like 6 or 7 hours.
Yeah, 6 actually. Yeah.
So it's a pretty short. $50 too for that, for campaign evolved. I was just looking up the price. I don't know. I don't think that's worth it. So anyway,
Right, that's right. Yeah, for just the campaign, $50 for just the campaign.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. Maybe 35. Maybe. 35?
Mm-hmm.
Then we might have a conversation about like if I'm feeling nostalgic enough for Halo. But yeah, $50 for just a 6-hour experience.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you can finish the game in like 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah.
But anyway, so with that said, let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments. I'll look at some of your comments and then we'll move on to the next story. Master Goa says, but coming so far after Neuromancer, it should be a better story. Yeah, but the thing is, I don't think the people who write the stories for video games are the same as authors. And I'm not being a smartass. I think that they're literally on a different level. And the next story is actually gonna reflect that a little bit, because I think we take for granted how talented writers could be when they're just telling stories, and they make it on their own merit, as opposed to like Hollywood scriptwriters or showrunners or directors that they may not be as tested. They're generally not tested, and they're just sort of like anointed, they're put in place, and they go up and they basically do their thing, and they suck at their job because they don't really have the skills. Now, I personally think that Cyberpunk 2077 is a solid story, but there's a lot going on in it. There's a lot of different plot lines and stuff. But I mean, it's a solid story for a video game. I don't need it to be Shakespeare or anything like that. Because I know that like mostly the people who like write these things, they fall into a lot of like, how do I put it? They fall into a lot of trope traps where they just like do stuff that they saw somewhere else. It's very derivative.
Genre writing.
Yeah. And I think it's just like, that's what, if there's any criticisms, I could do that. But I don't need, like the story to be that amazing for a game. I just want it to be a fun game. I don't really care that much about the story, but I think that if it's a good story, it's a bonus. So like Silent Hill 2, another game that got remade, by the way. Great, as a good story, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if it didn't have fun gameplay, I probably wouldn't see it through. So, but anyway, I don't mind that stuff, but appreciate it. So Rafa 00X says remakes are scams. I'd rather play the originals the way they were meant to be. Yeah, no, that's fine. I kept all my originals too. I like to see what people do with remakes, but I'm not generally drawn to them, you know. Yeah, I mean, I think the last one I wanted the Demon Souls remake back in the day because again, like Demon Souls was like, you know, 30 FPS, PlayStation exclusive. I wasn't gonna be able to get it anywhere else. And it looked good, but I didn't want to buy a console just to get it, so I didn't get it. And it's fine. It's been out for a while now. Eventually, they're gonna be able to emulate PS5, and then I'll probably be able to try it out. So, from what I can tell so far, the new MGS4 is gonna be similar to Delta. Is it made by the same team?
No. So what they're saying is Master Collection 1, they pretty much just took the old ROMs and put them on the new disc and just were able to put it out. And so like you got like a really good version of the old games as they existed. But because the PS3 exists in such the state that it does or did, however you want to look at it, to even get Metal Gear Solid 4 into a playable state, they had to basically start building it from the ground up again. So it's similar to Delta in that regard, into where they are doing as faithful of a remake as humanly possible, but they are updating textures and things like that because they're in there doing it anyway. So it's actually going to be quite literally a rebuilt Metal Gear Solid 4, but it's going to be built under the idea that they're aiming to make Metal Gear Solid 4 like it existed on the PlayStation 3, with the iPod in there, like all the like everything. It's going to be as faithful as a recreation as can be done, because they didn't necessarily want to make it as a remake, but they didn't really have any other option. So it's like, I think that's what they're meaning. And so in that regard, yeah, it is closer to Delta than like the other Master Collection games.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, because the PS3 had to have like the most original, unique, hardware ever.
Right.
So, I mean, I didn't hate that, but I like my PS3. But yeah, it was a decision. A decision was definitely made about that. All right, let's move on because I got a couple of things I want to cover. So we're going to talk about the Odyssey again, because now it's been out for about a week, right? So we got an idea of like what are we looking at in terms of the numbers. So the Odyssey debuted at $124.5 million domestically, which is the third biggest opening since The Dark Knight Rises. I don't know why. The Dark Knight Rises made money because of hype. That's all I'm going to say about that. But anyway, and 139.6 to 140.2 million internationally from 73 markets. So not a lot more, actually, because domestically, America, 124 million, and then like globally, or like everywhere else, 139 million, or global opening weekend of $260-ish million. Nolan's biggest worldwide launch ever, unadjusted. IMAX drove huge numbers with 51.8 million globally. So as of the latest reported figures, it has crossed nearly $199 million domestically and over $340 million worldwide, with strong daily holds. So it had a record Tuesday and Monday. $250 million budget plus marketing, though, means it needs strong legs to break even. Projections point toward a solid multi-$100 million run. It earned a cinema score of 97% and an audience score of 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, with premium formats, especially IMAX, playing a major role in its success. But it has not broken even yet. So it may not, it needs to make like $700 million worldwide to break even. That doesn't look like it's going to happen. but I don't think Nolan cares. I mean, he said so like on different, in so many different ways. But let me see here. The film has grossed roughly 340 to 360 million. So that's not really great. After its massive $264 million opening weekend, and it's gonna need several hundred million more to reach the break-even range. So it may last long enough. I know Oppenheimer did really well. That was that his last movie, Oppenheimer? I didn't watch it, so I don't know.
I think so. I didn't.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
Well, people have a lot of problems with this movie, but it's still making money because the normies watched it, and because the normies went out in droves and watched it. I mean, again, it's not it's getting good reviews, but it's not necessarily a financial success. But again, does that even matter? So it looks like, just share this really quick. According to Polymarket, which film will get the most Oscar nominations at the 99th Academy Awards? Well, number one is The Odyssey, 80%. Dune is the second in line, and it's only at 15%. I'm not buying tickets for that. And Project Hail Mary, which was a good movie, I thought it was all right, is sitting at 5%. Oh my God, The Bride, that was so bad. That was so bad. Disclosure Day. Oof, it's hard to be Steven Spielberg right now. So, do you think that? Well, let me just get your thoughts on this, John. What do you think about this film? Do you think it's going to break even? Do you think he's going to take home awards? Why do you think that?
I mean, I haven't really been too into Christopher Nolan since, I don't know, Dark Knight Rises was kind of there was a lot of hype that went into that one, and then it came out and it was like, all right, this was an okay movie at best, and everything since then, it's just kind of been diminishing returns. I haven't really I didn't even watch Oppenheimer like you, and I have no real interest in this myself.
Yeah. No.
I can imagine there are quite a few people though that are, as you're saying, normies, just they hear Christopher Nolan movie and they're like, oh, we got to go and see this. So I think that it's always going to make a certain amount of money in regards to that kind of audience, but I think that audience is drying up, and I don't know that it's really there to get to that break-even point these days, because I don't think that this really has anything beyond the people that were going to support it to begin with, are going to go and support it, and they were going to go and do it no matter what. But I don't think it's got enough going on that it's pulling other people off of oh no, you have to go see this. There's people who enjoy it, and for the people that enjoy it, I'm glad they enjoy it. But I don't think.
Yeah, I'm going to cover that in a second here. But
yeah, I don't think they're experiencing anything so life changing that they're trying to convince other people they have to see it. So
no,
it's okay at best. It's fine.
Well, okay. So a couple of notes on this. I think it is going to take home some Oscars, because that's the only the changes he made to the story, even from the adaptation.
Yeah.
What was that?
I say they'll satisfy those checkboxes.
Yes. Well, you have to, because ever since the BLM riots, they basically changed their whole thing. You have to have a certain amount of representation in a movie to even be considered for an Oscar, unless you're that excellent, right? If there's a year and every movie is shit except for yours, then I guess you got to take it home. But they're going to give it to the films that have representation. They have intersectional feminism in them. They say something about I don't know, immigration, climate change,
Right.
white
Reservations of
supremacy,
power. Yeah,
patriarchy, yeah, whatever it is. And I think that's what he's going for. So yeah, he's probably going to take home a bunch of awards. On a technical level, I guess that he did do like some good things, like he shot on location and used like he did not rely on CGI or green screen that much, if at all. I know that that's like one of the things that he's big on, but it's a little bit of a snobby approach, in my opinion. But the thing is that the movie is getting good reviews, but the audience score is a little bit misleading because they're only Rotten Tomatoes has done this before. They did this with I think the first time we saw it was with Captain Marvel, where they were basically running cover for Brie Larson and her movie because they didn't want and then you saw this happening on Netflix. They did this because of Amy Schumer's special. I think IMDb has done this with other adaptations that were like feminist oriented, so they made it to where you couldn't like really see like the bad reviews. Like YouTube has done this by getting rid of the dislike button.
Amazon does it a lot for Prime series.
Yeah. So
curated reviews.
So these are so they're basically trying to get the people to feel the FOMO. If it looks like everyone likes it, then if you didn't go, then you're basically being like coerced into going to watch it. But I also think, to be a little bit sympathetic to the normies, they have not been to a movie theater for anything exciting in a very long time. And this one was also going to be an IMAX. So you had the people who love going to the movies, they're looking for a reason to go, and this is available, right? So they're going to watch it. Now, maybe, I don't know how well it's going to do. Again, there was also some other people were saying that they have gotten tickets for a show that they thought was sold out, and then they go in a theater and there's no one there, or there's not nearly as many seats are full, and they think that people are buying tickets to give the illusion that this movie is a bigger hit than it actually is. So there's a lot going on because ultimately this is a culture war battlefield. Like this
right.
movie.
Well, it's like all those New York Times bestsellers.
Yes.
That
well, those are easy to fix, but they do fix them. Yes, they do.
Right, right. But how many people though have been number one on the New York Times because they have an entire industry of just buying books and then just sitting them in a warehouse or just giving them away to third world nations, so they can wipe their ass with it or something. I don't know, So yeah, we are totally at the point where movies will get propped up by their studios, and just they'll gladly just buy entire arenas or stadiums of tickets, for no one to even watch it, just so they can report having good sales numbers.
Yeah,
not even a question at this point. Yeah.
So I think but it is unfortunate that this has succeeded. However, I don't think it's going to be that much of a success. And again, I'm probably not going to be talking about this movie in a week, because I didn't care to go see it. I didn't have any interest in it. But then this is I guess they're just trying a new way of doing things. Okay, if you won't take our woke stories, we'll take your favorite director. We'll put him in a position where he has to make the story kind of woke. He's probably already inclined to go along with it because, according to Polymarket, Christopher Nolan said Homer's original Odyssey ending was so grim and so misogynistic that it had to be altered for the film. So they give him a feminist interpretation of the story to adapt, and he alters it. He alters it so much that even the original woman who translated it, the feminist woman who did her interpretation, did not like his version because she said that it got away from the Odyssey story in terms of its adventure and it being about conquest and stuff, right? It's war. And instead he turned it into a PTSD movie or a movie about PTSD put in Odyssey form. And it's
Right.
Nobody wants that,
Right.
guys. Like nobody wants that. We want.
But that is like kind of what Christopher Nolan keeps making. He keeps making the same movie over and over. Just
Yeah.
with, like little kind of like shifts here or there, but it's ostensibly the exact same thing. Because that's I think in many ways the worst thing I could say about this is it is exactly what you would imagine a Christopher Nolan Odyssey movie to be. It was exactly that. It is not a surprise. It was very much there's no gods. Everything is just explainable. You know, it was like when he went and
Zendaya was basically a vision of his guilt.
Yeah,
not actually Athena.
Yeah. Let's take Batman and ground it in reality. Let's take.
I can't stand that stuff. I can't.
Reality. That's all.
Yeah, it's so disenchanting.
Yeah, it's just.
And I wanted that, but so okay, I got 2 reviews that liked it, and I want to go through both of them because I think that there is some. Well, in one of them, we just want to see how far this the cope is. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I had this post by this guy named Tyler Norris, who's a centrist, right? At least that's how he's presenting himself. And he made a post about the Odyssey. He said, Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey may be the most pro-Western civilization film Hollywood has made in decades, not because it flatters the Greeks, but because it understands civilization as a moral achievement rather than an ethnic possession. The identitarian far left and far right share a premise that the Western canon is ethnic property. One side condemns it on that basis. The other guards it on the same basis. Nolan refuses the premise, populating Homer's world with various identities while treating the story with absolute seriousness. That's not a repudiation. That's what it is.
Yes.
Repudiation of the canon, but evidence of its triumph. Homer can be inhabited by and speak to anyone. The film's deepest commitment is to individual moral agency. Odysseus cannot hide behind Greece, military orders, or victory. His choices are his own, and so is his guilt. No collective cause dissolves individual moral responsibility. His final heroism lies not in conquest, but atonement. That principle extends to hospitality. Treat the stranger as you would wish to be treated. When the Greeks violate it, they become the barbarians they fear. Penelope's devastating realization, "You're the people from the sea," underscores that the enemies of civilization are sometimes its self-appointed defenders, exempting themselves from the principles they claim to uphold. This is Western civilization at its best, not an ethnicity or a triumphalist myth, but a tradition built around the dignity of the individual, moral responsibility, and atonement, and a civilization strong enough to preserve stories that judge its own heroes remains a civilization worth defending. So this guy's playing the, I'm smarter than everybody here who has a problem with this movie, because I can see what he's really doing, even though we don't know what's in Nolan's head. But this is like I don't know how to put it. It's just like a cringe point of view because, okay, look, nobody needs the movie that makes the case for Western civilization so much that you alter the plot and characters of the Odyssey. You can just tell the story of the Odyssey by itself without changing anything and improving things, and that would probably make the case on its own because it is not. So like Western civilization has Greek philosophy at its baseline. It's like one of the foundations. It's basically Hellenic philosophy and Christianity. Those are like the substrate on top of which all of civilization in the West is built. If you attack one of those things, then you are trying to chip away at that foundation. You're trying to eat it up. And if you do it in a way that makes it look like you're not doing it, which is what this guy thinks is going on, I think you're missing the point. Like, I think you're missing what's actually happening. So first of all, think about it like this. Are people still reading? Like, are kids today reading the Odyssey in schools?
Most kids don't even know how to read.
No, they're not. Yeah, they're not even reading that well at all.
And by the time they're in college, they can't even get through a syllabus.
No. They're not reading this stuff. So then how will they experience this story? Well, it's going to be through the movies.
Right.
So what are they going to take away from it? well, that Greece was multicultural,
Right.
for example.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that trans men could fight in wars,
Yeah.
and they always existed.
Yeah.
Like
That's-
it's all of these things, right?
Right. And that is exactly what is actually in the process of happening, is trying to, condense the way that people interact with history and getting rid of people's actual connections to historical tomes and, things that have authenticity and whatnot, because this is all just a matter of intellectual property rights, and they want to basically assume that we've always been this, civilized society that has just done right by whatever this is
Yeah.
exactly what it is. They're just whitewashing history and trying to just be like, well, actually they aren't whitewashing, they're multicultural washing history.
Yeah, they're beige washing.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's not just like the like the changes with the characters, adding all the diversity and stuff, and in having those people, like there's like straight up like Africans and like Asian guys saying we are Greeks. They're just saying it in the movie, like where it's obviously not the case. But
We
they're
was
also
Greeks.
they're dumbing it down a lot because everyone's speaking in like regular ass English. Like modern English. I think that Matt Damon didn't even like, do anything about his Boston accent. So he's like, I'm Odysseus, yeah? Like it's just, where the car at? Where's the car? The Trojans are homos, they are. But like that's, like that's what they
Just
did with that.
facts.
So they dumb it down. They don't have the language. They altered the casting, but they also changed the tone of a lot of it with where it's not even a story that's like that feels like a Greek epic. You don't even feel like you're entering another world from everything I've heard.
It would have been great if they would have done the same script, but they all would have been wearing costumes from the various superhero roles that they play as.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have Spider-Man in there and Batman and
yeah, well, it was yeah, I know, right? Pulling you out of there.
right.
Luigi from the Mario movie was
right.
No, but yeah, so like there's a lot with it. They altered the tone of it. It doesn't feel epic. They removed the gods. It's disenchanted. Like it's just like a survival's guilt story of a guy. And yes, there is a Return of the King plot, but that's sort of like the main plot. Like you can't have the Odyssey if you get rid of that. But that stuff bugs me, and this guy doesn't seem to. It's like he doesn't want to see that. He wants to pretend like that Nolan is so smart that he just pulled this off. I just don't think it's that simple. I think Nolan wanted to win an Oscar. I don't think he really cared about the integrity of the story. I think the person who translated it, like that feminist woman, they thought they could do things better. And that argument, it was too misogynistic, I had to take it out of the movie. Well, there you go. There's your problem right there. That's it. It's like it distilled into one thing. We have to change it because women might be upset, or we have to change it because people will feel left out. Because if it's just got a bunch of like, I don't know, Western people, like white people in it, whether they are Greek or not, just like whatever, they would say, oh well, where are the fucking Australian Aboriginals in this crew, right? It's like, well, I guess we got to hire some Australian Aboriginals to put them in the movie, and it makes me nuts. Like these things shouldn't be hard, but apparently they are. So then we got another review, and this one is a little bit well, I don't want to say heartbreaking, but I like Jonathan Pajot. I think he's really good at analyzing stories, and I still like him. He does say something interesting here, but it gives me mixed feelings about this. So he enjoyed the Odyssey. Some of the changes he thought were a bit annoying, like the Elliot Page casting and stuff, but he was willing to forgive it and try to look at the movie like once it was finished. But this is like a clip somebody sent me. I saw his initial review, but I'm going to play this clip because I think this is interesting too.
And so Odysseus sees this and is very embarrassed and is trying to cover for the shame of the family. So what Odysseus does is that Odysseus lies. Odysseus says that Antinous had received the lot not to go, and Sinon had received the lot to go, and that Antinous was now trying to convince Sinon to let him go and fight in the war, right? So Odysseus lies, flips it. And so then he says, actually, no, we shouldn't do this. It's okay. Antinous, he received a lot to stay, so he should stay, and he should take care of my wife and my family, and Sinon will come and fight with me. And so he tries to cover for the shame of the family, but this lie is the basis of that whole kind of aspect of the story. He tries to pretend that Sinon is the worthy warrior, and he does it to cover the shame of the noble boy, and take this kind of just shepherd boy and try to pass him off as a man, as the one that should fight. And he does that to cover the shame of the fact that the one who's supposed to fight is a coward. The one who's supposed to fight is a parasite. The one who's supposed to fight is lazy, and maybe he just stays at home and doesn't want to work and doesn't want to take up the responsibility of civilization, and has in some ways given up the responsibility, and now is going to spend the rest of the movie blaming and accusing and saying that, oh, no, he wanted to go fight. He wanted to go fight in the war, and lying. And Sinon will come to believe the lie himself. Sinon comes to believe that he really, really wanted to go to Troy, and tried to convince Odysseus that he was the one that had been chosen to go and fight for the battle. And so you can realize that all this is based on a lie. So whether you like it or not, Christopher Nolan is suggesting that the character played by a trans person, Elliot Page, is the one that wasn't supposed to be the man, that wasn't supposed to go out and fight, that wasn't supposed to go to war, and ended up only going to war and fighting because the true man had abdicated his responsibility. And I think that that's absolutely right. I think that Nolan is right to blame the chaos of our world and the gender confusion and all of that mostly on the fact that men abdicated. And it's so much easier to blame everybody else and to say, oh, society, everything's falling apart. But if you believe in a normal kind of hierarchy of things, the beginning of the problem starts with the fact that the men themselves have not been willing to play the role that was given to them. And I think that take is right. I think that he has a I think that he has a good insight into doing that. And of course,
All right, I'm pausing it there.
Yeah.
So-
I got some thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think we talk about it here all the time. There has been targeted demasculinization. So a lot of things have been kept specifically from men being able to actually have those classic roles that he's sitting here saying that we're not inhabiting. We're not allowed to, is kind of the thing, because like that's the whole thing for me. Like, I do find it interesting that they have a troon delivering the Trojan horse, when how many times have I gone on about the identity, the trans identity crisis being this whole thing about kind of a Trojan horse for the singularity, for transhumanism at large, and they're just sitting here trying to say, scapegoat the whole idea of like, oh, we're doing this to make the lives better for people that are feeling persecuted and otherwise whatever. We're trying to help uplift these people that have been put through such a travesty of horrors and an experience that just can't we just do something good for people just out of the kindness of our hearts? Yeah, sure, but you're not going to. Yeah. And the whole point of troons even existing is because they're a byproduct of life extension technology research. And that is a fact, you know. So I think that there is something kind of interesting about having a troon deliver a Trojan horse message, because I think that there is something interesting in that. But it's certainly not the thing that they were intending. But I do find it kind of an interesting thing. But with what this guy's saying about how, like, if that's what Christopher Nolan's commenting on, it's not that men are shirking any responsibilities. The world that we would like to inhabit and live in has been systematically stripped away from us and cattlegated and completely just put off limits, because that is the last thing that they want, is for men to actually be able to be as men would be if they weren't so encumbered with all this bureaucratic fuckery and bullshit that's trying to turn us into a collective state and getting out away from the idea of the individual. You know, so anyways.
No, that's fair. I mean, that what I was gonna say is that, like, you know, I like Jonathan Pajot's work. I think that he is correct in identifying the problem, but you're right too, because we can't really, like, the thing is, it's true that men have to be the solution. Women are not going to do it.
Right.
they're just not.
No.
I'm sorry, they're not. Like, they're not fast enough and not in enough mass, right? I think
and just the feminine feminine nature in and of itself is more emotionally based, which means it is more prone to being compromised, if not corrupted, because of that irrational state.
Right. These men, today's men, they're abused men, right? They're like, we're talking about men that were boys during a time where masculinity was already under attack, right? Mm-hmm. So this is what I'm saying. Like, we're talking about men who were victimized, and they haven't really healed from that. And I think that this is our problem, because I think that it's got to be men to fix it, but we need to fix men first. So how do we do that? That's kind of where I'm at with it.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I think what he's saying is true, but I think that he's starting the story in the middle, to put it that way, right? And the other thing is that girl bosses, which is the final like evolution of a girl boss, is a trans man. So the trans men, like Elliot Page, they are in no way a substitute. And yeah, that's interesting choice that he made with that. But
right. If anything,
and the other thing is too is that, well, that's all true and everything, but we still don't need. That's not the story you tell to inspire men.
Right. Well, if anything,
I would say,
in a way too, it also kind of actually reinforces what I'm sitting here talking about how men aren't even being allowed to actually live up to those roles. Yeah. To where it actually is kind of like this whole thing about where it's like, oh no, like women will be the one to show you the way, because you're not even good enough being men. We're gonna get a trans man in here, the new man, and that's the way forward. And it's like, all right, so what you're saying is that men are so put upon and just demasculinized and de-emphasized in the world today, that the only thing that you could even find to stand in for a man was a woman. In dress up. Okay, that's sad. That's sad. I mean, that's there's nothing. That's sad.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, I think we need to heal. Men need to heal, but I think they need people's help. They need their sympathy, their support, to do that. And because, like, yes, we do. If we're going to save our respective nations, our societies, women are not going to do it. So it does have to be men. But we have to, like, again, they need to be prepared. They need to be encouraged. They need to be inspired. And Nolan's Odyssey is not inspiring to men, I don't think, at all, just based on what I heard. Although I guess he's starting another project. He's working on Lord of the Rings. So we have a clip here. It's an exclusive clip from Nolan's upcoming Lord of the Rings remake. So let's take a look at this.
Welcome, friends. Thanks for your arrival at today's meeting.
Today's subject is that ring-shaped object that we must destroy. Otherwise, it will destroy our third age.
Elrond, buddy, hear me out. Screw that destroying it. Gondor needs the power now. Let's use that thing!
Go on then, Boromir. Reach for the gold. It don't take fingers, son. It takes hold. It'll wear your bloodline like a borrowed coat. Tie your father's white city round your throat.
Gandalf the White. You promised me that you won't use foul. Speech of rap here.
I'm sorry, Elrond, my N-word, but that fool Boromir forced my hand.
Sir, we must respect Eru Iluva Sar law of hospitality.
Sir.
Fine. I'm listening to your bright ideas now.
Listen, Daddy Boromir. Let's go to Mordor.
One does not simply walk into Mordor. Do you think you are some kind of Lord of the Rings or something?
I gonna carry the ring? Let's go, Daddy!
Don't we have someone who is better for this job than a hobbit? Sauron is gonna mog us. No cap.
This hobbit is the bravest warrior I know.
And you are? Who?
He is Aragorn, your king.
Your Kang.
Respect,
Gang.
We must unite, form a fellowship of the ring, and help the hobbit reach Mordor.
So you have my bow!
And you have our swords!
What is going on here?
We are elves.
Don't
They're elves,
question them,
guys. Stop with the
Boromir.
judgment.
We need to be kind to strangers.
They are elves.
They are just a great elves, like me and Legolas.
That's right. They're just elves with extra steps, you know.
You are not going anywhere.
Oh, look, it's
without
Zendaya.
me!
Good. It's official.
Yes.
Right?
Samdaya.
Samdaya!
Cannot be
Samdaya.
adventure without you.
We are complete.
We are coming too!
I don't know who those people are, but doesn't matter.
So what are we waiting for? Let's destroy the ring!
So... this just happened.
Great. So now we have 3 hours to deconstruct your characters and talk about toxic masculinity.
Oh man,
I cannot wait.
that's what AI is for, guys. That's what it's for. So yeah, this is just to show the absurdity of what the Odyssey was. Like that, yes, that's what it was. It was a deconstruction. It was a disenchantment. But let us also take heart, because Elon Musk wasn't thrilled with this either, and he proposed a couple things. Now, I don't know if any of this is going to actually like see the light of day, but according to Petapixel, and I saw this post on X, Elon Musk says that Grok AI will remake Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Will basically remake The Odyssey as like it'll be able to do the whole story as an epic. This is a screenshot from it. It'll be AI, but I think it'll yeah, he basically said they can be done. Before this year ends, Grok Imagine will make a full-length movie of the Odyssey that is historically accurate and true to the art of Homer. Now, is he planning on doing that? I don't know, but I think it could be funny. Not only that, but, and again, none of this is confirmed, but I do think it shows where people's heads are at and like what the sort of like vibe is here. Somebody said to let me see if I got the tweet here in this no, it's not in here, but I can read this anyways. So Elon Musk was tagged in a post somebody made where they said, "Hey, Elon, give this guy $100 million and he'll do an accurate Odyssey," and a picture of Mel Gibson, basically tagging Mel Gibson in it as well. And Elon Musk said, let me see what he said. I'm down. He said, Musk replied, "I'm down" to a user suggestion that he give Mel Gibson $100 million for a live-action Odyssey with painstakingly historically accurate elements, because this is all the stuff they got wrong: the ships, the armor, the casting, the dialogue in Homeric Greek. This is an informal expression of interest, not necessarily a confirmation. We know that Mel Gibson is hard at work on the Resurrection film, but Mel Gibson is I think he's a really good option, because did you see The Passion of the Christ or Apocalypto? You ever see Apocalypto?
I know of both.
Dude,
their level of detail.
Apocalypto is great. Passion of the Christ is great too, but it's not for everybody. But Apocalypto, if you're not big in the Jesus thing, I would check out Apocalypto. It's a good movie. And yeah, everyone is speaking like legit, like Aztec or whatever. Like, I don't know how he managed that, but no one speaks English. It's all subtitled, and yet it was still a big hit.
Mm-hmm.
Passion of the Christ is the same. Everybody speaks Aramaic, and that was like, I don't know, it was a massive hit. Like, it was huge. So why wouldn't he do that? Why wouldn't he do an accurate Odyssey? I think it would be amazing. I think it would be amazing.
Right.
So I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you watch?
I think that this is the thing that we've encountered is no one knows how to tell stories anymore. So they try to make things as homogenized and relatable as possible because they don't have a story worth telling. That is just like, because if you have a story worth telling, you tell it, right? You just tell it the way that it is. And if it's worth telling, people will pay attention because it's a great story. And they'll be like, wow, this is fucking great story. It's amazing. It's crazy detail, And so, like, that's what we just need more of, is just people who know. I know it sounds incredibly simple and overstating, like oversimplifying it, but it is that simple of, like, just actually get people who can tell legitimate stories worth listening to and that can be entertaining, and stop trying to homogenize everything to, because ultimately when you try to make these things that appeal to everyone, you ultimately just make something that doesn't work for anyone. And it's just, it sucks. So many things become lesser in no short order,
Yeah.
Husk.
Well, let us know what you guys think about this one in the comments, and we're going to look at some of your comments and move on to the next story. But I think I said mostly of what I wanted to say about the Odyssey. I want to see what AI can do, actually. I mean, I know a lot of people hate it, but I'm curious to see what it does in terms of films. There's a couple of channels that have done really good stuff with AI animation. I'm sure you guys know more. I only know of these two. One is Psyop Anime that makes anime. I think I mentioned it last week. And another one is a channel called Gossip Goblin, and Gossip Goblin just released a new movie about 20 minutes long or so on YouTube. Look up Gossip Goblin. They made a movie called Pomegranate. I don't know anything about it. I haven't watched it yet, but it's very creative stuff, and it's really unique too. Like it's like, completely unique stuff. Like I mean, it's like a dystopian future setting that most of his videos are, but he's also done some that are like fantasy, and whoever they are, they're doing good work. So I like to see what if by like December we can get like a full length historically accurate Odyssey, I would watch that. But anyway, let me see what you guys are saying, and then we'll move on to the next thing. So Wuthering Heights was a movie for the female Minotaur novelization crowd. Botch TV says, anybody who actually read the book of the Odyssey and they weren't normies did not really like it, even the translator that he used. Yeah, I know. I mean, he's still going to make money because, again, sometimes it's just simply the fact that there's nothing out there that's worth watching in IMAX. Like, so there are good movies, I guess, like, Obsession, Backrooms, Iron Lung. I don't know if any of those are still in theaters. I think Obsession and Backrooms is. But But yeah, I mean, like those are not epics. You know, those are not like the stuff people go to the IMAX to watch. Would be something like a big Star Wars movie, like a good one, or I think I saw like V for Vendetta in the IMAX theater. I liked it at the time. Upon reflection, I don't care for that movie.
I mean, nowadays, it costs like almost like $20 to go watch a movie in the theater, so it has to be something really worth your time for $20.
Yes. Well, yeah. The thing is, movies are no longer for working class people. They're so expensive now, and their audiences, the audience they're targeting are like elitist, basically. That's why they put all this woke shit in there, because that's like those are all like luxury beliefs, and they can just put them in. But like working class people that, you know, they want to be entertained. They were the bulk of people that went to the movies.
Right. They live in privileged, cultivated kind of settings, so they can have, privileged, cultivated mindsets.
Yeah, you basically have like a crowd that used to go to the theater to watch live plays, concerts, ballet recitals, like whatever stuff that costs a lot of money to go watch, an opera, because it involved like a live. It was a live performance, though. Like I understand why you would pay a lot of money for that, because the actors are right there, like they're real people. But for working class people, they had films. They would record it one time, and then they would distribute the footage around. But now that's no longer the case. It seems.
I think you're on point. Movies are turning into the opera for upper elites, and like the internet is just kind of what is contemporary.
Yeah, and video games are trying to be movies.
Right.
So movies are trying to be the opera. Video games are trying to be movies. And they're also starting to move away from, again, the working class people who enjoy them. But anyway, let me see what else you guys are saying. By the way, the Oscars should be nominated for a Raspberry for Worst Podcast Series. Yep. Bosch TV says this is only making money because it's Nolan and the fact that people haven't been to the theaters in a long time, not necessarily because it's a good film. From what I've heard, it's just okay. Exactly. That's what I was just saying. Some people, I get it too. I used to love going to the IMAX. Some people are like, man, I want to watch something in the IMAX. And a lot of times you can go for like educational films, you know, like about space or whatever, or like the deep sea. But, you know, for like a movie, like there wasn't a lot out there. You know, I saw Inception in the IMAX. I saw one of his, that was an IMAX movie. I saw Dunkirk in IMAX, I think. But it's not enough on its own. You know, like I'm not going to go just because I need the IMAX experience. So Red Letter Media made their contrarian stance review on the Odyssey, which was not surprising. Botch TV says a lot of people complain that Odysseus lacked wit, humor, and character in the film compared to the source material. The gods played no role in it. They made Odysseus into a war guilt vet, not a hero. Yes. Nobafan gives $1 on Rumble. Thank you, Nobafan, and says, does Tyler Norris, the clown, not realize that everything healthy in Western society is officially labeled as, quote, whiteness? The woke chart on white culture references geek culture or Greek culture for history. Yes, you're talking about the Smithsonian thing, of course, yeah. Okay. Botch TV says, I agree with a lot of the people's criticism. It just doesn't feel like the Odyssey at all. No gods, no real Odysseus, no magic, just grounded in reality. Modernized dialogue doesn't feel authentic. No, it's completely, it takes you out of the story. Like people watch a movie, they want to disappear into the world. They want all that comes with it. The way people talk, the way people act, everything. Like, even if there is like a way to put like, I don't know, slang in there or something, you know, they want that. People want to feel like they're leaving this world for another one for like an hour and a half.
It's like it's easier to understand if you are playing around with the actual timeline. Like I Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet back in the 90s. They have fucking guns. Sure. You know, like that totally makes sense. But when you have like I think that's kind of the thing with the Odyssey that gets people is it's like it seems as though it's striving for realism, but also at the same time does not get accuracy. It's more focused on certainty, not accuracy. It has a certain message, not an accurate message, just a certain message. We are certain about these things, And we certainly need you to go along with it and understand that this is how you are going to be bettered as a society, because we're certain, but accurately, no, we're not. Don't hold me to accuracy, because then, then it all falls apart. I think that's kind of what we're dealing with.
Yeah. Squillis says, "Big fan. Let's collab. You are a huge inspiration to our channel." Well, are you a bot? I've never heard that, but I appreciate it. I'm not trying to be a dick, but I get this a lot on Kick and Twitch. And they're like, join my Discord. But I appreciate it. I'm afraid I don't know your channel or who you are. So if you want to give me some more information, I'll look into it.
Indeed.
Frank?
Not to sound sus, but this is the internet, so...
yeah, it is the internet. Frank Blaskowitz said, sad that seeing Michelle Yeoh is a sure sign to avoid it. Yeah, unfortunately. Like, she's not... But the thing is that it's not her fault. Like, I think that,
No, people took advantage of her and exploited... Like, and she had every opportunity to be like, no, I don't want to be exploited. I don't want to, have you go and try to siphon my heat. And so like it is one of those things where people who play this game, and you're in a very interesting position, because I'm sure she didn't want to be typecast as Michelle Yeoh, as crouching tiger, hidden dragon lady, and she didn't want to be so limited. But at a certain point in time, you take the jobs that come your way. And then the jobs that start coming your way are, hey, do you think we get someone in who can actually bring some prominence to this thing? And they'll be like, oh yeah, what if we got Michelle Yeoh? And she's just sitting there like looking for anything that might get her to not necessarily be in that, exact framework of, oh, we're going to cast you as the exact same thing. So now instead of being cast as the exact same role, she's now just cast as Michelle Yeoh in this movie. And so now she's not even being cast in roles; she's just being cast for the movie. To show up.
No, they're just she doesn't even do the things that she was famous for.
Right.
She just acts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just weird. Okay, let's see here. Oh, great! Did she become woke? No, she's just corporate Hollywood. She's just working. Yeah. Robert Johnson says Gandalf the White. Yes. Don't question that. Obviously,
the whitest of white, clearly.
Master Goa says this is exactly how I remember Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I couldn't tell. It's a really good remake. It's very solid. Norwegian says the Odyssey by Mel Gibson would be fantastic. Then Great Endora says directed by Clint Eastwood while being 100 years old. I mean, Clint Eastwood would do a good job too, but I think he is getting up there. I think he's relaxed. Kitty Cat 794 says Honey Badger Arcade mustache reveal. I can't hide it. Serious question: what's wrong with V for Vendetta? Story is decent, but cinematically, it's a perfect movie. Cinematically, very well made. My problems are with the plot and message at the end of the day, but I don't have time to get into that now.
Yeah, it's far too late in the.
Yeah, we got to get ready to wrap it up. But I do have issues with what the movie ultimately is trying to say. But it just makes sense considering it's Alan Moore, partly, and also it's the Wachowskis. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. I can get into it another time and give you that as information. But let us know what you guys think about this one in the comments. We're going to move on to the next one. This could be the last one if we don't have time for anything after this, but we'll see. Okay, so Bethesda Game Studios recently outlined a multi-year roadmap emphasizing Fallout and the Elder Scrolls. For Fallout, the studio confirmed Fallout 5 is in pre-production on the new Creation Engine 3, which was shared with Elder Scrolls 6. Multiple other projects are active, including a major Fallout 76 expansion called Raven Rock, a prequel story to Fallout 3, planned for 2027, and they're going to remaster Fallout 3 and New Vegas, which are currently in development. And Obsidian Entertainment is collaborating with Bethesda on a separate new Fallout project. Additional Fallout content includes more Fallout Shelter seasons, a new unscripted TV show. Unscripted? Oh, but it hasn't been scripted yet. And 30th anniversary plans for 2027.
No, when they say unscripted, they do mean like an unscripted, like a Mr. Beast.
Like it's going to be like not scripted,
like a game show based on Fallout.
Okay.
So like,
well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be like Fallout inspired games, kind of thing. Kind of like how they did with Squid Game. On Netflix. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
oh, interesting. Yeah. Well, yeah. So also, The Elder Scrolls 6 remains Bethesda's primary focus, with the majority of the team working on it and the studio loving how it looks, according to them, and playing it daily. Like Fallout 5, it uses the Creation Engine 3. No release window was given, but development is progressing as planned after years of waiting since Skyrim. Bethesda also noted closer collaboration with ZeniMax Online Studios on the broader Elder Scrolls franchise, including support for Elder Scrolls Online. So they have bought Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls Online, which are still going right now. They're both like I guess they were trying to get into the MMO thing, and they're going. Like I know people who play Fallout 76, but the MMO thing is not like quite as profitable as it used to be when it was like a hot thing, like when World of Warcraft was out and stuff. Okay, and ongoing Starfield updates. They're also working on Starfield too. These announcements came amid broader Xbox restructuring, aiming to reassure fans of strong pipelines for the biggest franchises. So just like, first off, I just want to say, I think what happened is Microsoft was like, you guys need to shut the fuck up right now. Stop whatever new ideas you have and get us a new Fallout and a new Elder Scrolls. Because we're losing money and we need to make our money right. They probably did pretty well on the Oblivion remake that came out. And they're like, oh, we should do that because they're going to remake Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, right?
Yeah.
They're calling it a remaster. But
the absolute browbeating that must have happened at Bethesda. I wish, oh God, I wish I could have been there for that, because just think about
fly on the wall.
Yeah, because not only are they shut the fuck up and put your head down and start getting this stuff out, but you will be making a Fallout game. Mm-hmm. And Obsidian will be making a new Fallout game. And they will also be making a remake of New Vegas. Just like Microsoft just laying down the law, basically pointing out to them that, by the way, remember that we own the studio, and you may think that you own the property, but quite honestly, we own everything that owns everything that is involved in this situation. And so if we want to go and hand it back to Obsidian, we get to decide that, not you. We do, it's so fucking, I just wish I could have been there, because it is an absolute just complete turn of events, because last we knew, and this is one of those things too, where it's like, it might be too little too late, because the people who made those things great, time has changed them, not just, like Tim Kaine. It doesn't, that seems like, oh, is that such a good thing that he's back at Obsidian? He seems to be quite happy to try to make things that are about his gay joy or what the fuck ever. And they wanted to make Avowed 2, a sequel to a game that didn't even sell to begin with. And they had somebody who was working on an exploratory version of a Fallout-like game, because they wanted to do something Fallout, and Bethesda was like, no, you're not going to do that. And now this has happened. So there is every likelihood that the thing that they were working on at Obsidian is now going to be converted back to being full-blown Fallout, extension. And then they'll also be doing their remaster on their end. But that doesn't even mean that it'll end up being good, because, Obsidian's a very different place than it used to be.
For sure.
And,
Obsidian and Bethesda are
yeah,
not the same company.
and the last Fallout 4 or 76, depending on how you look at it. Either way, not exactly great, especially when they came out. And Fallout 76 could be argued that it is not necessarily even great now, because now it just kind of like is a costume party of sorts.
Are you in any way looking forward to Fallout 5? Or are you more like a wait and see, or what?
I just got my PC up and running, and I've got like a 5 terabyte drive, right? That a 5 terabyte gaming drive, and I have like a whole bunch of titles. Like I like a backlog.
You have plenty already.
I would see how many games I could install on this 5 terabyte drive before I either ran out of space or I ran out of games. And I think I ran out of games first. And I have like around 170 games installed. So of them, I have some Metro games. So those are like Fallout, but different. So I could probably just easily just play those for the next few years. I've more than enough. So I'm not even necessarily worried about it at this point in time. Like even if they're great, awesome, I'll welcome the like something good happening. But I've got such a giant backlog at this point in time, and I know how to buy games when they're under $5. That I think that I could probably just get by, regardless what happens with these games, whether they end up being good or not. I hope they're good. I love good games. But if they're not, it's not going to shock me, and I'm sure I'll find other ways to get by. I which is kind of sad saying that, like about Fallout in a way, but also at the same time, though. I think it's responsible. I'm 45. At some point in time, things I love in this world are gonna change entirely, and just kind of it's the nature of these things.
Did anyone in the audience play the Outer Worlds games? That was Obsidian, right? And were they
the first
good?
one? I played the first one. It was you end up just feeling like a fucking side character. You're not. Yeah, it's like you're like in a friend zone for the game. Like you're in the game's friend zone, and so everything you're doing is just in service to kind of like being to measure up to where the game will take you seriously and actually just like act. And it never does, and you're just forever just friend zoned by a game, and then the second game gets even worse and amplifies the girl bossness to like the highest of
really
degrees.
Oh shit!
God. Yeah. The second one is not even worth.
Yeah, I'm gonna. It's gonna be interesting to watch things unfold for the new Fallout.
I have
actually all of this stuff is gonna be interesting to follow. To be honest, I want to know what they're gonna do with Elder Scrolls as well. Like I have look, I'm good. I'm not I'm not like chomping at the bit for this. I will probably, because I did finish Fallout New Vegas. I streamed it, but I do want to do Fallout 3 and 4 because I have them, and I played 3, but it was a long time ago. So I'm gonna play 3 again. I'm gonna play 4, and I'm gonna stream them. I'm gonna try and do a complete like bimbo run. So like with one, I don't know which game would be better for that, but where I make my character as dumb as possible, but very likable. So like a bimbo, like a woman, and like she's gonna what is it?
The deadly dits,
exactly. I don't know how that was going to turn out, but like I'm good on that stuff. But it is going to be interesting to watch. Now, I do think that, like you were suggesting, the culture of game development itself has changed. Not necessarily from the audience, but from the people who create them. So it's not, it's not the Obsidian, I don't think, and it's not the Bethesda. It probably is the Bethesda, but not the Obsidian.
I'll put it this way: amongst all those games that I was talking about installing, One of them was the Spacefarer's Choice Edition, which is basically director's cut edition of Outer Worlds. And I played through Outer Worlds on my PS5 when I first got it. It was I got that, and Death Stranding came out at the same time, right at the beginning of COVID Hell World. And I played through both of them, because there wasn't really anything else in the world to do. And I'll just put it this way: mechanics in Outer Worlds 2 quite good, because based on New Vegas, so the mechanics and the systems and whatnot are decent, but the story, like I said, is up its own ass, and you just kind of like your friend zone the entire time, and everybody just kind of makes you keep telling you how inadequate you are all the way through the game, and how like you're not even necessary. Like it's like they just wish it was a woman who had shown up rather than you. Like there's something. It seems
you don't get to make your own character like in Fallout. Like you can't make.
You can make your own character. I'm just saying though, it's just like no matter who you are, it's like it's just like, like they want Captain Marvel there.
Yeah, right.
And then the second game ends up even being a more gynocentric on top of that. So even though like it was a good game, it was just very, don't assume that you're going to get into a relationship with the one girl because she's very clearly a lesbian, and she oh god, like they just hit you over the head about how much, like, if you play as a male character in that game, it will constantly just tell you how much the universe would be better if you just didn't exist. Please stop existing. That would be great. Could you be a woman, please?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So,
all right. Well, there you go. Are you guys at all interested in the Fallout? Firstly, the remakes they're gonna do, also the sequel they're supposedly working on, or are you more of an Elder Scrolls guy, or both, or neither? Let me know. Let me see what you guys are saying, and we're gonna move on to the last thing, a little bit of cake. Let's see. Gabriel says Sneak King remaster when? I don't know what Sneak, is that a game? Rafa says those new Fallout games will be woke slop. Probably. I think there's a good chance of it. They're gonna the remake will probably make some little adjustments. I don't know what you would change in New Vegas to make it woke, but they'll probably change like what they show, or maybe something to do with the prostitute section where you you have to get all of the different sex workers to that one quest from Bisto and the ghoul chick. I don't know. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't.
I hope they have the good sense to just work on the visuals.
Yeah. Gabriel says I have no faith in any of these being good.
Yeah. No.
Frank Blaskowitz says Asha made Todd buy those gift cards for her. Marin Ribarek says played the first one too. It was such a disappointment. I think he's referring to Outer Worlds. I might be wrong, but I don't think I am. Norwegian says I used to like both the Elder Scrolls and Fallout, not so much anymore. Gabriel says Burger King game. Oh yeah, right. Sneak King is the Burger King game. Basically Manhunt 3. Nova Fan says I am enjoying the Fallout of the gaming corpos. I also heard the Fallout games are good. I think overall they're all pretty solid. I mean, even what the worst one of them, I guess, is 4 or maybe 76. But it's not bad.
Yeah, I got the old school Fallout games installed.
1 and 2
this week. Yeah, that and Tactics. Yeah, I got the entire series installed.
Oh, and Tactics, that's right.
Yeah. I probably died like 10 times in 2 hours on Fallout 2. It was great.
I'm not great at tactical games.
It's glorious.
But I do enjoy the there's a couple that I like Valkyria Chronicles is a good one, and it's got like the Iron Man rules too. When a character dies, they stay dead, I'm generally not, it's not really my, interest. It's a little too beardy for me. But anyway, so thanks for your comments. Let's get into the last thing. So we have a bit of cake here. this is a trailer for a new film, and it's basically like, you know, guess who's back? So let's see what this.
It's good to be back.
To Uncle Scrooge.
To Uncle Scrooge. Mr. Scrooge.
Let go of me,
I say to you, sir, Merry Humbug! Merry Christmas! Humbug! And a Happy New Year! Humbug!
Merry Christmas.
All right, so Johnny Depp is getting work again. After his way too long, let's say, you know, hiatus from acting because of
exile.
Say what?
This is exile.
Yeah, it was basically an exile. Yeah. And he's did now look. Yeah, I know. Christmas Carol has been done a million times. I love that story. You can't go wrong with it. It's a classic, anyways. But I'm just glad to see that Johnny Depp is basically getting work again, like in the mainstream. So, I wish it would be a Dickens Christmas Carol and not another character movie. Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about it. It's probably, well, I guess we'll see.
I think Johnny Depp
that
likes
the Christmas Carol, that story. It's been told a lot of times, but I don't think that there's been like any, like, from what I can remember, I don't remember any movies that have completely like turned it upside down or subverted it. I don't expect this will do that.
You know,
I don't know.
I think Johnny Depp likes doing things with characters that are fairly indelible to begin with, because he likes to show either that he can kind of inhabit it beyond the expectation or to really fulfill it in a way that hasn't. About the only one that he, you know, wasn't probably as successful as in ways, which I don't think anybody will ever be. Of course, you know, fucking there's only one Willy Wonka and he's on the wall right behind me, you know, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, right. You know, and so like his Willy Wonka, while, you know, different.
Well, he was trying to do something different.
Yeah. It did not hit, but generally speaking, you know, he's pretty good about like doing these interesting character roles. You know, so I can see why he would gravitate towards doing something like this as a way back in, because it's something that's kind of familiar, but also at the same time he can get lost in it and kind of like, you know, like have it be a role that he can inhabit in a way that, you know, it's kind of like how Heath Ledger is now for many people when they talk about the Joker, they kind of think about Heath Ledger's Joker more so than anything else, you know. So, but, it's interesting. But you know, I am glad he's getting some work.
It's just like, from what, again, we don't know for sure, but I'm guessing that it's just a Christmas Carol, and just like they did it with Jim Carrey. I like that one. It was an animated one. Robert Zemeckis, I think, with the real. You know, you ever see the Polar Express? Anybody ever see that? I've never seen it, but I remember the trailer, and I was like,
got
"What?"
it in my library. I think I got a free copy of it at one
Uncanny Canyon.
Yes, yes. There was no valley. It like went straight off into the fucking ocean and like.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, they were at that time. I think there was this thing. Well, you know, CGI is getting so good, we can just do whole movies with real-looking people. We still haven't gotten there yet.
No,
but I did like A Christmas Carol, the Jim Carrey one because it was very stylized, and he played like all the ghosts. I think, yeah, he played all the ghosts, and he played himself. He played Ebenezer Scrooge in it. I thought that was fun. So, and then people like the Muppet Christmas Carol. There was also a Disney one. There was a musical. There were tons of different interpretations, but most of them, from what I remember, stayed truthful. You know, for the most part.
They're all
Scrooge,
fairly
Scrooge was good with
Scrooge is with Bill Murray. Yep.
Bill Murray. Yeah.
They all kind of hit the same points.
Yeah. So this could be a good, like, it's one of those things that gets adapted all the time. So maybe that's the safest way for Johnny Depp to try and come back.
It's a holiday movie.
Limelight.
It's just got to come out and exist basically between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Well, it's coming out on Thanksgiving.
And be good enough for people to just sit in a room together and be like, I'm glad Johnny Depp's getting more work. Yeah, let's watch this. That's all it has to do.
That's mainly it for me. I'm just glad Johnny Depp is like potentially getting regular work again. So after this, we'll see what he does. I think that all that, the Amber Heard stuff, and it's all in the back now. So Christmas Carol is too pure to subvert. Yeah, I think that you underestimate people's willingness.
Right.
But I don't think they're doing that here. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. So, well, we'll see. Like I said, shout out to Johnny Depp. I'm glad that you're getting work again. Also, did you catch the Nightmare on Elm Street reference in the trailer? You guys catch that? To show you again?
Oh.
Okay, have you guys ever seen Nightmare on Elm Street?
I was going to say he was all the way back in what number? Shit, he was one of the earlier ones.
No, he was in the first one.
Yeah.
He was in the first Nightmare on Elm Street,
and then
he gets killed. Do you guys remember how he dies? Well, I'll show you. It's right here.
Let go of me!
Yeah, I was going to say fully in the bed. Yeah,
he gets sucked into the bed.
And you see that.
That's literally how he dies in Nightmare on Elm Street. And then like a fountain of blood comes out in Nightmare on Elm Street.
There's a fountain of blood, and then like you see Freddy's hand go in.
They do a pretty decent reference to his first movie. So it's this is like another way of I think that there are people who got his back basically. Yeah, here it is. This is the shot. This is the shot of him getting sucked into the bed in that movie, and this is it from Nightmare on Elm Street.
40 years later.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm happy for him. I hope that this is a success, and then he like gets work again. So I know. And look, I don't think he'll like me very much, but it doesn't really matter, So let me see what you guys are saying real quick. So let's see. What happened to... Saw a comment, it got removed. Robert Johnson said something. Okay. Looks cliche, but good to see him back. Yep. No Muppet, no bye. This is a crossover I didn't see coming. I don't know that it'll be good, but it'll probably be fun. Yeah.
Now, it would be great if it was a crossover with Freddy. Could you imagine... Nightmare on Elm Street meets Scrooge. Like that would be great. That would be the thing. You'd be visited by these 3 Halloween movie slashers.
Oh, that would be fun, but they're not doing that. But that would be funny.
Yeah.
I think they're just playing it straight. I don't think this is. Somebody thought it was gonna be. The Norwegian said movies based on characters from other movies, Maleficent. So like, I don't think that's what this is. I don't think this is trying to like do something that Dickens didn't do. I think they're just doing his book. I don't know though, but I don't think so. And Ebenezer Scrooge is not really a villain. Remember, he's redeemed at the end.
Yeah.
Not forgiven changes. Because when they don't do that stuff that you're talking about, where they take like Cruella de Vil or Maleficent, and they basically like present their side of the story. The purpose of that is to turn the villain into the hero, or at least misunderstood. and it's basically to remove the accountability from those characters.
Usually,
they only do
blame
that
the
with the female villains.
Yeah,
there's no Jafar movie.
Right.
You know, there's no what's the guy from Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Disney one. There's no movie for that guy. Frollo. There's no Frollo movie. There's no Jafar movie. There's no Gaston movie. Right? No, because they won't do that because those are men. They won't do that to male characters. They only do that to female characters. They'll do one for, you know, Maleficent. They'll do one for I don't know, like there was another one with Cruella de Vil. They'll do that for them. I think they had sights on doing something like that for the stepmother from
The stepmother or
and the
even
stepsisters too.
Yes.
Yeah, they were gonna do something that basically like, you know, redeems
they were put
them in
upon
some
by
way.
the patriarchy, and they were just put in a position that was kind of beyond them, and they were doing the best they could.
Yeah. But that's what I think. I don't think they're gonna do that because it doesn't fit the narrative basically. So the look of the trailer makes me think of Sweeney Todd. Well, that's because it's Johnny Depp, and it's got this Victorian thing which Sweeney Todd had, but also Ichabod Crane from the Sleepy Hollow movie, which is one of my favorite Johnny Depp movies.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is it's supposed to be familiar in many ways, and it's
they're trying to do that.
They're playing on like vague nostalgia,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's like, oh well, you know, that whole thing of like, I'm just
hey,
glad he's getting
remember
work again.
Edward
Yeah.
Scissorhands, remember Pirates of the Caribbean, right? So, but no, I think it's, again, like I said before, I think this is potentially, you know, it's going to be good in the long run. I think for him. So
that is good.
Anyway, all right. So all that said, we're gonna end it here. So John, what do you got going on this week?
Will's doing a show right now, so I'm gonna bounce over there. So you are all welcome to join me over on WTF Live on Will of the Fans channel. He does not do anything on the Rumble side of things, so you know, join me if you're on the Exploitation Ghetto. Go to WTF Live, you know, or look for Will of the Fans channel, because we can't really raid over there. But yeah, I'm just gonna go over there, and I will talk more about what I got coming up after that, because we're already over time here, and I need to get over there. But thank you, everybody. It's been great being here, as it always is. With that said, y'all have a wonderful weekend going forward. Safe travels ahead. Be awesome as always.
All right. Well, if you guys like this video, please hit like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, hit the bell for notifications, leave us a comment, let us know what you guys think about what we talked about on the show today, and share the video, because sharing is caring. Thank you guys so much for coming on this episode of The Week in Culture, and we will talk to you guys in the next one. Long live Vivio.
With the glass ceiling broken, all the oppressed groups shall prosper, especially the most oppressed group of all, gamers.
I want people in the industry to be a little bit louder about people being mean to other people, and maybe say it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Maybe say we don't want you around if you're going to be a cunt.
Yeah.
And hateful. And that the games industry is diverse naturally. Not because anyone's making them be diverse. Because the world is diverse, you stupid motherfucker. And if you have a problem with that, come fight me. Physically. Bitch.
Has anyone taken you up on that yet?
No, because they're all pussies.
Yep.
Down here, salt is a way of life.
Obviously, the environment down here is all salt. The ceiling's salt, the floor is salt, the walls are salt, and to an extent, the air is salt. And you breathe that in, and you can constantly taste the salt.